Hello, Keith Rucker at VintageMachinery.org. Well guys, today is December 31st, 2017. It's New Year's Eve, and I got a video that will come out on Monday morning, which of course will be New Year's morning 2018. So let me just start out by saying Happy New Year to everybody. I hope your 2017 was great, and I hope your 2018 will be better. And today what I'm going to do on my video is we're doing an odds and ends video, but this is going to be a little bit different. I do have some viewer mail over here I want to go through. Some of this for me, some of this is for some of the winners from our little giveaway contest. And I want to show you some of the things that have showed up here at my shop that will be passed along to those guys as well. I want to do a little shop update. I have been off of work the last couple of weeks, and I have been focusing on trying to get some things finished here in the shop and trying to work on the shop itself. This past week, I've been mostly focused on some new work to the shop itself, and I kind of want to give you a little bit of update there. It's been slow, tedious work, not a lot to show as far as things that have actually been accomplished, but there's been a lot of work that's gone into it because again, it's just slow and tedious, so we'll get to that in a minute. So first off, let's do some viewer mail, get through this. I got some stuff that's been sitting over here for quite a while, and I need to get work through this, as well as some stuff that's just recently come in. Again, that's going to be passed on to those winners from our lathe giveaways. So let's get at it. I'm going to zoom you in and show you what we got. All right, so first box here. This comes from Robert Newland, who lives up in Ohio, and he sent along these. These are actually for the museum, made by Simons, who made saws and all kinds of stuff. And what these are inserts, teeth, to go on a sawmill. And I know out at the museum that we use a insert tooth on our sawmill. I'm not sure if this is the ones that fit our sawmill or not, but regardless, this box of bits will go out there. These things here, when we change out the teeth on the sawmill blade, it's nice to have some of these. You can still get these teeth. They've been making saw blades with these little insert teeth in them since the late 1800s. So they are time period correct for the museum, and they're still around. But anyway, this is a brand new box that he had that has 100 bits in it, if they're all there. But anyway, hopefully those will fit our sawmill, and we can put them to use. Be nice to have those. Like I said, you can get these. They're a little bit expensive to buy them nowadays, but they are still available. So I'm hoping these are going to work on our sawmill. So next, I got a book. This one actually came all the way from the UK, and this was sent by, let me look at that again, R. Hesse, or Hess, H-E-S-S-E. I'm not exactly how you say that. I'm assuming the E on the end is silent, but I may be wrong. But anyway, Practical Sheet and Plate Metal Work. It's a book here, dated there 1937. And this is a 1937 edition. It's a third edition. Original was in 1916, reprinted in 27, 30, 33, 34, and this is the 1937 edition, and there were likely later editions as well. But anyway, another nice little book for the shop here, and always nice to have this kind of stuff. You know, I don't have a whole lot on sheet metal and plate work and that kind of stuff, so this will be a good reference to have. So anyway, thank you very much for the book. Another book for the bookshelf. So the good folks at Edge Technologies sent me a little care package here of a couple of items. These are some things that they make, and I told them, he had sent me a note and says, hey, is there anything in our catalog that you could use around your shop? I said, well, you know, these little stops that you guys make, this is something I've really kind of had a need for. I've seen some of these and some of the other YouTube guys' channel, and he said, well, we'll send you a couple items I think you can use. I hadn't even taken these out of the box yet, but this first one here, this one actually clamps to one of the jaws, like on a Kurt vise, and it's just got a little set screw in the back. It tightens, clamps down on there, and you have a stop there that you can put right in your vise. Really handy if you're doing multiples of something, you need to be able to go back in there on that same spot each time. That one there. This one here is a little bit more, I guess, fancy, whatever. It's actually got a T-nut in the bottom, and you clamp this down like onto your milling machine and onto the table itself, and you have a little stop here, and you can use this either with or without a vise or however you want to. So anyway, two nice little stops here, and you probably, guys, you'll probably get to see me using these in videos down the road. And just briefly mention Edge Technologies. You know, they've got all kinds of neat tools for the machine shop. And if you're interested, you can go take a look at it. I know I've got their little handle there that I use with my Kurt vise all the time. There's the multi-axis stop, which is one of the ones they sent here. I've seen these little mill caddies and organizers. I think Adam Booth has a couple of those. Here's the jaw stop, like I was talking about. Like I said, it clamps to the jaw on your vise, and you can just go in there and go right back to the same spot every time. They got some other types of stops here, all kinds of stuff. Some of this stuff is more geared towards CNC, like the touch-off tool here, and a little fixture for tightening up the collets in Cat 40 and Cat 50 tooling. That's a Cat 40, I think. Little lathe gauge here. See, I think this one here, a little speedy lathe gauge. I think I've got one of those that I purchased from them a while back for finding the center height on your lathe. It's a real handy little tool. So anyway, they got some nice stuff in here. You can go check out their website. It is edgetechnologyproducts.com. And anyway, they're good folks. They got good products. And I've mentioned this before, they're great supporters of our YouTube machinist community. These guys always are great about donating stuff for the raffles and giveaways, like out at the Barsley Summer Bash and other events that we have. So I thank those guys a lot for what they do for our community out there, and go check them out. So this is a neat little item here, and this was sent to me by James Arnold, who lives up in North Carolina. He'd contact me, ask me if this was something I could use, and absolutely. So Ashcroft, some of you guys probably recognize that name. They were makers, in fact, I think they're still around. They make all kinds of pressure gauges and stuff, and we use a lot of steam gauges and stuff that were made by Ashcroft out at the museum and whatever. So what this is a little tool that they have for working on gauges, and specifically for pulling the dials off of a gauge. So basically it's a little press. This would go up underneath that dial, and you would screw this down, and it would pull the little gauge, the little needle, basically it would pull it off so that you could take the gauge apart to work on it, and then to put it back together, there's a little settings tool here that you put on there, and you just kind of tap it back on. So I'll tell you what, I think I got a gauge over here. Let me kind of show you this. So here's a steam gauge that I just happen to have out here at the shop. I'm not even sure if this one works or not. It's one I picked up somewhere along the way, but this one's not an Ashcroft gauge. It's made by American Steam Gauge, but we'll pull the bezel off and take the glass off here, and you see the needle, and this is basically, you would just come in here, you would put this up underneath that, and let me raise that up. I'm not going to actually pull it off, but kind of show you here. You put that in there. There's a little stem in the very center. You center up your that little screw right on that, and now I can basically lift that right off of there. It'll pull that off, and you got to take this off to get this plate off, to get back behind it to work on the gauge. And then of course when you get ready to put it back on there, you use this little tool, and it's got a little hole in the middle that fits down over that little stem there, and you just press it right back in place. So anyway, a neat little tool. This is an original one made by Ashcroft, and that's definitely something that I can probably use at some point in time. So anyway, thanks a lot, James, for thinking of me and sending that along. So next item here isn't actually a viewer gift. It's a favor I'm doing for a viewer. So Bill Cooley actually sent this to me, and what he wants me to do is check the diametral pitch on this, see what pitch this is. This is a gear that's broken, and I think he's going to try to make one himself, but he didn't have anything to check the pitch on, so he sent this to me. And Bill, I apologize. It's been sitting here for a little while, and with everything that's been going on in the shop the last couple of weeks, this just kind of fell off my radar screen, and I dug it up a few minutes ago when I was getting stuff together for this video. And I said, well, heck, I'll just put it in the video. So what I'm going to use to measure these with is just these gear tooth gauges here, and this was made by Boston Gear Works. I found this set at a Midwest Tool Collectors Association tool sale several years ago, and picked it up for like 15-20 bucks, and these things actually sell for a good bit of money if you can find a set used on eBay or something. So anyway, he said he thought it was either a 16 or an 18 pitch. So there's the one that has 16 and 18 on it. Just both of them have to be on the same one. And the 18 does not match. We'll go around here to the 16. 16 is a perfect match. So this is a 16 diametral pitch that you got here. And again, I apologize for taking so long, Bill. I will box this back up and send this back to you. But hopefully that'll get you the information you need to start working on a repair. Next item here comes from Dennis Nolan at Niagara Cutter, and Dennis sent this out. I noticed several of the guys on YouTube have gotten these from him, and basically it's just a decimal equivalent chart and tap drill size information, your basic decimal equivalent chart that you just can't seem to have enough of in a shop. I know I've got several hanging up in my shop, and I don't ever seem to have one right where I need it, so these things are always welcome to have around. So this thing is laminated, and on the back side of it happens to be a 2018 calendar. I probably won't even use that. I'll probably just go ahead and stick this thing up on this side, because this is this information that you always need in the shop. So Dennis, thank you very much for sending that along. Niagara Cutters have been another great supporter of our YouTube machinist community. They've also helped out a bunch with like the Bar Z Bash and so forth, and made a lot of really nice tools available to us for raffles and what have you out there. And Dennis is a great contributor. He happens to be an engineer that designs cutters for Niagara, and he's active on the YouTube machinist group. He actually has a little YouTube channel that he's working on doing some machine restorations. That's pretty interesting stuff. So if you haven't, go check out Dennis Nolan's YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, Dennis. Appreciate it. All right, next item's here. This is actually going to be going to Tara Tyndall. Tara was the winner of the little mini lathe giveaway, the little small Craftsman lathe that was sent in. We had the contest for that and gave that away, I guess it was about a week ago now was when we announced that on Christmas morning. And some of you viewers out there have wanted to contribute to some other items toward this, and David was one of those guys. And basically what we got here are some little tool holders. These are all Armstrongs, the nice tool holders. There's a knurling tool right here, a right hand offset, a left hand offset, and a straight shank tool holder. And these are basically all brand new in the box. They're made for a little small 6-inch lathe. And anyway, these would be really nice to go with that lathe. And I have not yet got the lathe up to Tara. I'm actually going to be traveling. I got to make a little trip up to North Georgia this coming week, and I'm going to try to swing by their place either on the way up or the way back home and deliver that lathe. And these items will be going along with them as well. I'll also mention, and please forgive me, I don't have the viewer's name right here in front of me. It's on my computer and I'm down in the shop, but he was going to be sending in a little small quick change tool post that will fit that lathe that he had that doesn't need. And, I think he's going to mail that directly to Scott and Tara. So anyway, we got some nice little additions to go with that little mini lathe that we're giving away. So in addition to the little small Craftsman lathe, mini lathe that we are giving to Tara Tyndall, if you watched my video last week about the mini lathe giveaway, we had a second place winner, I guess you would call it. There were two people that were just really overwhelming, head and shoulders above the other ones, at least as far as the voting went. And I decided that it was so close that I wanted to do something to kick in for Graham Warden, who lives out near Dallas, Texas, who wanted a lathe to use in a classroom. where he's teaching students physics actually, and they do a lot of hands-on. He's basically turned his lab into a maker space, and they make stuff and teach physics with it at the same time, which I think is really cool. He was specifically needing, he was going to use the little metal lathe for wood turning. So what we ended up doing was I announced last week I was going to buy a little small mini lathe to send to him to use in his classroom. And I also mentioned that I put a link down. Anybody wanted to donate a little bit of money toward helping with that venture. And wow, first off, let me say thank you to all you guys that contributed toward that. Your contributions went a long way toward helping pay for what we ended up doing. And because of your contributions, I actually ended up kind of upgrading a little bit of what I was planning on doing. So we ended up getting a little jet wood lathe, a 10-inch wood lathe. It's a brand spanking new one that we're going to send, or it's actually already been sent to Graham. I also got some, I guess what I would call essential tooling to go along with it. I can't remember exactly what all we got, but there was like a drill chuck, a number 2 Morse taper drill that goes into the tailstock, and there were a couple of little things. Again, I apologize, I don't remember exactly what they were. But because of your contributions, we actually were able to upgrade that. And also, I was planning on getting a set of turning tools, but we had Denny Rice out of Richmond, Indiana, contact me. He said, Keith, I got a set of brand spanking new turning tools that he had never used, and he didn't need them, wasn't going to use them. He said, let me just contribute that. So he boxed up and sent in 8 nice high-speed steel turning tools. These are the nice high-quality new stuff. You know, a lot of the older turning tools, there's nothing wrong with them, but they're made out of high-carbon steel. These are tool steel. They hold up a lot longer between sharpenings, and you know, some really nice stuff here. I'm not going to unwrap all of them because I got to pack them back up and send them out. He wanted to send them to me and let me send it to Graham, so they're coming through my shop first. So I just wanted to thank Denny for doing this, and I'll also mention that Harold Walters had some turning tools as well, and he was going to be shipping those directly to Graham, so you won't get to see those. But I want to again thank Harold. He's the Amateur Redneck Workshop. If you watch his YouTube channel, if not, go check it out. But he was going to be sending some stuff along directly to Graham as well. So hopefully, Graham, we've got you set up where you can do some basic tools. I know I do some wood turning myself, and unfortunately, the lathe is usually, you know, you go out there and you buy a nice lathe and you say, oh man, I'm ready to go. Well, with wood turning, you can spend a small fortune just on all the tools and the tooling to go along with it. But I think you've got the basics now that you can go into your classroom and you can teach your kids some wood turning, make some cool stuff, and talk about physics all at the same time. So anyway, I'm really happy that we were able to do that. And again, thank you to all of my viewers who contributed toward this. Like I said, your contributions really went a long way toward helping me do that, and also enabling me to be able to do a few little upgrades to help out Graham in his classroom. So thanks a lot, guys. So another little item here I'll just mention, Christmas present. This is actually from my wife, Julie, and she got me a little propane heater to go out here in the shop, and very timely. I was bragging last week in my video. I was out here wearing my shorts on Christmas Eve. Well, it's turned cool down here for South Georgia. We've got a little Arctic blast coming through, and I know anytime I talk about the weather, you guys up north always laugh at me. But this coming week, in fact, tomorrow morning, I think we're supposed to go down to like 23 degrees Fahrenheit here, which is for South Georgia extremely cold. We haven't seen temperatures that low in several years down here. Usually about every 3 or 4 years we may get down that low. So we've been using this out here in the shop this week as we've been working. I've had Miles McDonald, who's a college student, has been helping me do some stuff, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. So if you look back here behind, I've got the Cincinnati Bickford drill press. I got a little video coming out on that, finishing putting that thing together. I think you guys will enjoy. The Carlton radial drill is also, it's not 100% finished yet, but I've actually used it. In fact, you'll get to see it being used in an upcoming video. And I really need to just find a little bit more time. We've been working on so many things out here in the shop the last week or two that Just haven't been able to quite finish these 2 machines up yet, but I want to do a video featuring the 2 drill presses coming up here pretty soon once I get them 100% finished. Hopefully I'll get a chance to get that done this coming week to let you guys see it really close. So what we've been working on this week, like I said, last week we were trying to finish up some machine stuff. I showed some videos on that last time. This week we've been working back here in the wood shop side, getting some things ready. So let me go back there and kind of show you a little bit about what's going on. All right, so this is the wood shop side of my shop, which you really don't get to see a lot in videos. I'm going handheld here, so if this gets a little shaky, I'm sorry. But back here this week, what you see going on right now is we're painting ceiling boards. So if you remember last year, we did this in the machine shop side. I've got this tongue and groove bead board. This is all pine bead board, some really, really nice lumber. I ordered all this stuff. It finally came in this past week, went and picked it up. 256 pieces of this stuff, 14 foot long, 6 inches wide. And that will all be going up here into the ceiling and getting this ceiling looking like this ceiling over here. That's the goal. In fact, I was looking on Facebook today and one of my memories popped up. 1 year ago today on New Year's Eve, we were finishing putting the ceiling up on this side of the shop. So a year later, we're kind of back at it here. So I've had Miles, he's been working hard, doing the painting on this, getting stuff done. And we've got about half the boards painted right now. What you see over here is I just got some scaffolding and we've just got the boards laid out on this as drying racks. And most of this stuff is pretty much dry. It's ready to stack up. So hopefully this coming week, be able to get all of this wood finished stained, pre-stained, so it's ready to go up. And we will probably be having some work days coming up here in the next month or so to put ceiling up in here. If anybody wants to come help and do that, just like we did last year. So also this week we did a lot of cleaning on this side of the shop. This side of the shop had kind of turned into a big storage area, and there was a lot of stuff just piled up over on this side. We'll start on this side right here putting our ceiling in, so the scaffolding is just temporary. Once I take that down, we'll be ready to go. Now, a lot of the stuff that was over here is just kind of all, it's all piled up in an island on this side, just kind of getting it out of the way. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff. My table saw, my joiner, there's some grinders. You see the Monarch lathe, 10EEs back there, blasting cabinet, work benches, just all of this stuff is just kind of piled into a big pile. And the goal right now is just to get it out of the way for clean or to get in here and work. And the plan will be once we get the ceiling done on this side, we'll probably come do the center section, and then I'll have to move all this stuff over to here so that we can finish out putting the ceiling up on this side. So a lot of time and effort spent this week just cleaning up in here, rearranging. Some of this stuff got hauled out over to my storage building where I used to shoot some of my earlier videos at over there. So again, it doesn't look like a lot's been done over here, but this is slow and tedious work, and we've still got some more to go. Anyway, good thing to get some of this stuff knocked out. So also this past week I've done some electrical work. This is my 3-phase panels that comes in from outside from my American Rotary 40 horsepower phase converter. And I've had basically just kind of one circuit kind of going along this back wall back here to power a couple of machines, but I've been needing to run permanent circuits in here. And so I got over here the piece of conduit going up to the left. It kind of goes across the ceiling, back down the center post. And I've got two 20 amp 3-phase outlets here. And one of those is powering the Carlton drill press. The other conduit that's coming out of there has got a heavier wires that actually goes up and over across the back side of the walls here and down the back wall back over there in the other room. And I'm going to put a sub panel in that side of the shop. So just like I did over here. I've got my main electrical panel over here. I put a sub panel on this back wall, and I ran my circuits kind of on either side of the shop. Because of the way this building is constructed, it's really difficult to run wires from one side to the other. And then also the cost of the copper and the cost of the wiring. It's actually cheaper for me to buy one heavy gauge wire and run a sub panel rather than running a ton of individual circuits with smaller wire over here. So I will have a sub panel that's going to actually be back in the wood shop, and then we'll run three-phase down this side of the shop out of that sub panel. So I got to put some three-phase outlets inside the machine shop as well as the wood shop, but we got some progress made toward that this week, doing electrical work. Well, there you go, guys. A quick update on January 1, 2018, starting off another year. I hope that we're able to get a lot more done in the shop this coming year. Again, I was actually going through some of my old videos the other day and kind of looking at how the shop has progressed during 2017. And it's really quite remarkable what all we've been able to do in here over the course of a year. And I'm really looking forward to 2018. We're going to be focusing more on the wood shop side back there, at least on the shop itself. We still got a lot of metalworking projects. Don't get me wrong. Don't get worried, guys. But that's going to be a big focus for me in 2018 is to get my wood shop back up and running where I can get in here and do some woodworking projects, which I'm needing to do some of those. My wife's got a list of stuff she wants me to make for the house. So anyway, just a quick update here of what's going on. Thank you guys always. You know, let me do this. The guys out there who have supported me financially the past couple of years, particularly this past year, through Patreon, through making donations directly to my PayPal account, whatever, I can't thank you guys enough. A lot of what you see done to the shop, a lot of what's going on right now, buying lumber and stuff to do ceilings and walls and whatever, that's being paid for a major way out of my Patreon account. So many of you guys support me through Patreon, where you contribute, you know, in many cases just a couple of dollars a month. But those couple of dollars, they add up, and really, really do appreciate all you guys that support me through Patreon. I don't tell you guys that enough, and I'm not asking everybody out there, you don't have to do that. It's an optional thing, but there are some people that have indicated they want to do that. If you do want to do it, there's a link down in my description below where you can go to my Patreon account. One thing I try to do for my Patreon supporters is when I put a new video up, particularly if I'm able to get it up ahead of time, I give those Patreon guys early viewings of my videos. It doesn't happen every single time. Sometimes I'm getting my videos out just in time. Sometimes I may get a couple of videos out you know, a week or so ahead of time and uploaded, particularly if I'm going to be traveling or something like that. So I give my Patreon viewers early access to my videos. And again, I just want to thank you guys. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. And again, thank you everybody that contributed through PayPal to kind of help out with the lathe giveaways that we just did. Thank you very much for that as well. Very much appreciated. And with that, looking forward to a great 2018. Hope to get a lot more stuff done here in the shop. Hope to have a lot more great projects. Hope that you guys are going to get to stick around and see some things getting done around here. Thanks for all of my supporters, for all of my viewers. Thank you for everything, guys. It's been a great year, and it's a lot of the great things that have happened this year have been because of you guys, and I can't say thank you enough. So with that, we're going to sign off on this episode. We got some more stuff coming up pretty quick. I know I got Friday's video is going to probably be focusing on the Cincinnati Bickford drill press. Yes, I've actually got some stuff being done during this time to machines and so forth. I know probably getting tired of watching me work on the shop, but thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.